Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 6 p.m. English Prime in the Queen's language. We begin right away with the headlines. A meeting for peace talk has been held in Marua by the defense authorities and bike riders with an objective to call on bike riders to order after a demonstration they carried out due to the killing of one of their colleagues. Rapis, known by its French appellation Réseau Africain pour l'Éducation, l'Égalité, la Paix et la Santé, a non-governmental organization has offered gifts to some needy children in Yaoundé to help them live a better life. We'll be bringing you more in some minutes to come. A family of a 45-year-old lady have discovered that the body parts of their sister, wife and mother of 7 kids have been replaced with tissues. This was discovered during the wake service yesterday, Thursday, June 24th at Nouvelle Rue Carousel, a neighborhood in Yaoundé. More of this in a bit. Thanks for joining us. We begin where members of the Finance Commission of the National Assembly and members of the Finance Committee of the Ministry of Finance have met to discuss and analyze the impacts of fiscal expenses on household consumption. Let's have details in the following report. Time has come to modernize fiscal public investments to develop the country despite the limited budget, making it difficult to satisfy household consumption expenses. Objective of this committee meeting between the Finance and Budgetary Commission of the National Assembly and the Finance Committee of the Ministry of Finance.
Au niveau de la Commission des Finances, nous avons l'habitude.
At the level of the Finance Committee, we have the habit to hold trimester meetings on Finance Commission. We need a training session to reinforce the capacity of members of the Finance Committee in close collaboration with the Ministry of Finance on fiscal expenditures. This will help to prepare ahead of exams on finance project laws for the year 2022.
L'examen du projet de loi de finances 2022.
It is a statutory regulation that since 2015 is aimed to study on tax expenditure into the draft budget, though impacts are not felt.
The idea of all of this is to enlighten decision makers like you on issues of fiscal policies. So tax expenditures are incentives, and these incentives are towards two groups of individuals. There are incentives to strengthen the productive sector, and of course, incentives to obtain social cohesion. Now, are we succeeding in all of this? The World Bank is here. The World Bank is always asking us to reduce our tax expenditure, and then they try to tie it up with some other facilities. Because the idea is for us, as much as possible, to reduce tax expenditure.
From statistics, household consumption from 2014 shows irrelative exonerations that 46.8% for wealthy families against 46% for poor families. Fiscal expenses for the year 2019, a reference period, stands at 584 billion francs CFA. That is 25% of income revenue, which accumulates to 2,784 billion, representing 26%, evaluated at 2,962 billion CFA francs. It is therefore time to enlarge the fiscal scope and to ameliorate the mobilization of internal resources of the state to suit every living standards of Cameroonians. Thank you very much. Under the patronage of His Excellency President Paul Biya, there has been a signing of a memorandum of understanding to construct the Balam railway linking Crise to Seaport. And this agreement was signed at the Hilton Hotel. Ruth Fonyon was present during the signing and compiled this report for us.
A memorandum of understanding has been signed this day by the Transport Minister Jean-Ernest Gale Bibehe, Minister of Mines and Technological Development Gabriel Dodondoke, for the construction of the about 510-kilometer railway connecting Balam to the deep sea port of Crise.
The consortium we have gathered to fully finance the whole capex, the whole cost of the development of these projects. And this should allow, by the end of 2021, for the beginning of the construction of all the infrastructures related to this project. Let me remind you that we're talking about more than 600 kilometers of railroad, 100 million tons per annum multimodal mineral harbor, and of course 3 mines in the northeastern part of Congo.
This signature marks the relaunch of the project for the exploitation of the Balam Nabeba iron ore deposits straddling Cameroon and Congo. For close to 9 years, the project has been stagnating because Australian junior mining firm Sudan was unable to attract financial partners for the construction of the infrastructures required for the project. For Ostino Resources Group Limited, this memorandum of understanding is a big comeback to the project.
His Excellency, the Minister of Mines, Development, Technology and Industry, for the amazing show of support they have given to this project. This support has been decisive in allowing us today to sign a memorandum of understanding regarding the right of passage through Cameroon. This MOU will allow for the rapid development of the Avima, Badondo and Nabiba mining deposits located in the Sangha department in the northeast of Congo.
Established in June 2020 in Hong Kong, Best Way Finance Limited appears now as the financial partner of Cameroon and Congo in the iron ore exploitation project. The relaunch of this project will be a plus to Cameroon as it will offer about $20,000 for employment.
This project will generate upward of 20,000 direct and indirect jobs. A lot of it will be associated to the initial infrastructure built, which will be built, as you know, in the Republic of Cameroon. It should be noted, however, that in the second phase of the project, there will be a railroad built from the Sangha department to Pointe-Noire. So once again, we would like to thank both governments, the Republic of Cameroon and the Republic of Congo, and their leaders, the presidents Paul Biya and the President Denis Sassou Nguesso.
The project memorandum of understanding was signed with Chinese firms Ostino Resources Group Limited and Best Way Finance Limited.
The Réseau pour l'éducation, l'égalité, la paix et la santé, a non-governmental organization, have expanded their humanitarian works by offering gifts to some vulnerable children. Our staffman Stephen Elangwe took part in one of their programs and compiled this report for us.
Peace, education, equality and health. These are the watchwords of RAPIS, a non-governmental organization and association established on the backdrop of promoting humanism and social growth of the community.
Is to sensitize people about peace, education and health, because we have noticed that in our communities we usually talk about hate speech, words which usually hurts individuals, and we cannot monitor speech like this. So we call on everybody, we call on all Cameroonians, all citizens to take part in the RAPIS action, to sensitize people around us, to bring donations so that we can help those who are in need. So that's the main objective of RAPIS.
With the motto United for Peace, the 2-year-old organization, after meeting and bringing together children between 5 and 15 years of age, later trained them in domains of cookery, natural juice production, sewing, knitting and several other trades.
Into our respective rooms to help us because we were in difficulties, and so they gave us these foodstuffs and other gifts, and for that we thank RAPIS for their help. And just like I can say is that I'm very happy for this, and I wish all people that are in difficulties to come and benefit for this help, and I thank for them very much for RAPIS. Yeah, that's it.
By groundwork from the quarter level, they believe a first-hand touch can permit them save many lives.
RAPIS started in 2 years back, so We started this year with these donations. This is our second session, and we pray and we encourage everyone who can bring us donations to bring it so that we can distribute it to people who are in necessities, so that we'll have more and more people with good hearts in our communities.
Words of thanks filled the end of the day after the gifts were handed to those in need. A day worth remembering, an idea worth promoting, according to the beneficiaries.
The foundation stone for a 5-star hotel has been laid around the Yaoundé Municipal Lake here in Yaoundé. Our reporter, Stephen Elangwe, was present while this ceremony was being chaired by the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. John Guti. Let's listen to him in the following report.
Named Hotel du Lac, this 5-star hotel will be situated at the Yaoundé Municipal Lake. This on the backdrop of the laying of the foundation stone for this project that the Prime Minister and other stakeholders were gathered here yesterday, June 24, 2021.
His satisfaction is also justified by the fact that an initiative of this scale is inevitably a source of positive externalities. At the economic level, hotel investment generates tax revenue for the state, significant commercial production, and various trades fostered by tourism. Another advantage is undoubtedly the creation of many jobs for young people. These different implications require the establishment by government of an environment favorable for the development of projects in the hotel industry.
Aimed at being a reference infrastructure, this hotel will stand the test of time, fit and suit international standards. Likewise, command reference and deference for Cameroon.
This important initiative enters the crucial implementation stage. I would like to reiterate the importance that the head of state attaches to its total success. I therefore urge all stakeholders in this project to scrupulously respect the contract commitments as well as the specifications contained in the various technical documents. To the line ministries involved in the development of the project, kindly lend a hand to the promoters, each in your own field of competence, so that convincing results can be achieved. This is with the hope that we will meet again in a few months' time for the inauguration of this architectural masterpiece.
Given impetus by presidential approval, this project, which is worth 100 billion francs CFA, will not only be emblematic, but will give Cameroon an energetic say in international debates as far as tourism is concerned.
We now move over to a very sad note where a 45-year-old lady and a mother of 7, the family members discovered that her body parts were extracted by the time they removed her from the hospital. This was discovered during the family wake-keep service that took place yesterday in the family compound around Nouvelle Route Carousel, a neighborhood in Yaoundé. A very disturbing situation that they went against the instructions of the mortuary attendants who said she died due to coronavirus. Let's have more details in the following report.
Wonders the say shall never end in a dear motherland, Cameroon. The population of Nouvelle Route Carousel, a neighborhood in Yaoundé, are still in shock after the discovery of an inhuman act perpetrated on the lifeless body of late 45 years Mama Ernestine by some suspected mortuary attendants in a private mortuary in the political capital of Cameroon. The corpse was kept in the said mortuary since Sunday, June 20, 2021, and removed for burial on Thursday, June 24th. It was only during the wake service at the family compound that, out of curiosity, the family members wanted to view the corpse despite warnings from the mortuary attendants that the lady died due to coronavirus.
They have removed all the organs. The internal parts of her body is completely empty and there is no organ in her body. All has been removed. We only found tissues in her stomach. The family is traveling with a corpse for burial. Though I persisted that the corpse should be returned to the mortuary, they refused.
A jovial mother and wife, very much admired in her neighborhood.
Verify your corpse before leaving the hospital. Please dress your corpse. The mortuary attendants should not dress your corpse in your absence, so that you verify that every part are there. She's always smiling with everybody. She leaves behind 7 children. Let the government come to our aid because things are getting worse in Cameroon.
According to family members, it is all waste of time if they have to take the corpse back to the mortuary, as they will be obliged to go through a lot of procedures, making it useless. The deadly coronavirus pandemic has become a pretext for men of the underworld to carry out their inhuman acts, as human body parts trafficking have become their business and favorite meal. What the world is turning into, only God knows. It is time for the government to wake up and react before things get out of hand.
We still continue with a very sad note where after heavy rainpour, a very young girl has been killed after landslide covered her in their neighborhood at Etukebe. Our reporter, Gloretta Owena, visited the family and tries to paint a picture of what exactly took place in that part of the town.
Until when we will understand that the construction of residential houses on dangerous sites can cost our lives. We are in Yaoundé 6th neighborhood, precisely in Etugebe, at a place called Nkondwe.
With the wash crews, then one year we hear qua boom. Our year and so we check whether na wait it don't happen now. One you look na the place na don't force to then he hit the one walk collapse na inter house we picking them they were songe the way they call Emma and he follow back then with he last born where they call and say kindness where they be there for inside house now picking your die surplus immediately.
Where a little girl just lost her life following a flood of land. It all started on the 23rd of June 2021 around 8 p.m. when rain with storm ravaged everything, shaking the branches of trees in its passage and digging them. 4 children and their mother, named Emma, found themselves buried in the house.
We started digging now with the hand for side way picking day. Because we been away for night way no day you don't even know because we just stand immediate something na unforeseen circumstances where we no be know whether na it common na for which side. So we start the digger now with the hand for the find because we no be know whether picking them for front or for back or for left or for right. So we start the digger. After now one just say I see picking his leg for that side. Then we discuss say then for right now we digger now we more picking one more picking where if you don't die since where we don't die. Then now we mob now picking now we see and say you worry now we say people them for quarter they understand because all man be don't they cry all man just they cry they shout we just make a pretend they say picking never die we take picking he go in different hospital take mama he go in different hospital so that me mama don't understand say he picking don't die immediately before because that trauma they be traumatized so we just separate them so after now they bring picking back we don't already it died.
The noise alerted the neighbors who came to rescue them. Unfortunately, the little kindness died. All natives from the northwest region in Dongamanton division. At the burial ground, a second case is reported. It's my little sister, says the older brother to the deceased. By the time we left the venue, the sky was dark. The world is terrible. Let's keep the living.
May her soul rest in peace and may the parents and the family members find comfort in the sight of God. We move over to something else where some types of imported rice have become very scarce in the market. This has contributed to the doubling of prices as consumers say they buy more than the usual price. On the part of the wholesalers, they are calling on the government to intervene as they keep selling at a loss. Ruth Fonyong, our reporter, visited one of the markets in the capital city, Yaoundé, and compiled this report for us.
The increase in the demand for rice in Cameroon markets is at its peak, and many retailers are complaining about the prices levied on kilograms, and as such, rice needs to be imported in the nearest future.
You buy a bag of rice for 8,750 and sell a kilogram for 350 francs. There is no match. It is difficult. The bijou rice is at 23,000 Douala price, and then it comes. You add transport for 500 francs, and we will be told to sell the bag of rice at 21,000 francs. Is it a miracle? It cannot be done.
It is difficult for consumers who usually bought rice at 500 francs per kilogram to now get it at 600 francs.
When prices are high, we just sell because commerce is like farm to us. And when a customer comes, instead of 500 francs, they tell them it's 600 francs. Just imagine, it's difficult. The last person who can help us is the Minister of Commerce.
Retailers plead on the government to help them ameliorate the prices so as to better their living conditions.
We are asking the ministry to arrange themselves with importers to make the prices of rice normal both for consumers and retailers. They should not allow people to come and deceive us. It's not our fault, so they should not put the blame on us. We retailers sell to gain.
Imported rice is one of the most consumed foods in Cameroon, and so the demand is higher than the supply.
Regarding the promise that the government made to finance some Cameroonian artists, they have taken upon themselves to visit the bank to withdraw cash that are due to them. As reporter Stephen Elangwe was with them and tries to paint a picture of how the situation over there. Let's listen in the following report.
Shelter Afrique is the only Pan-African finance institution that exclusively supports the development of the housing and real estate sector in Africa by meeting the needs of the continent's rapidly growing urban population. Their work has a direct and positive impact on the lives of many. The lack of secure and enforceable land rights creams the market for cheap housing finance, hurting both firms and households. Affordable mortgages in Africa typically have interest rates of more than 20%, which puts formal housing even further out of reach for the average city dwellers. Cameroon's Housing and Urban Development Minister, Celestine Kecha-Coutez, speaks during the 40th General Meeting of Shelter Afrique in Yaoundé, June 2021. Housing and finance ministers from over 40 African countries met in Cameroon on Monday under the auspices of Shelter Afrique to chart a course for Africa's real estate sector. Headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya, Shelter Afrique is a Pan-African finance institution that supports the development of the housing and real estate sector in Africa. During the annual general meeting, 6 resolutions were taken all together. Amongst others are prepare a common position for head of states as to what concerns housing and development, promote location programs with buying options, guarantee housing for youth, women and handicaps, put in place financial mechanism, and lastly, develop applications and promote research in housing domains.
We are sorry that report was done to us by Ruth Fonyon. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our English Prime News, but before we go, here are the headlines. A meeting for peace talk has been held in Marua by the defense authorities and bike riders with an objective to call on the bike riders to order after a demonstration they carried out due to the killing of one of their colleagues. Rapis, known by its French appellation Réseau africain pour l'éducation, l'égalité, la paix et la santé, a non-governmental organization has offered gifts to some needy children in Yaoundé to help them live a better life. A family of a 45-year-old lady have been discovered that the body part of their sister, wife and mother of 7 kids have been replaced with tissues. This was discovered during the wake service yesterday, Thursday, June 24th at Nouvelle Rue Carousel, a neighborhood in Yaoundé. Thanks very much for being there. It has been a pleasure, and we hope that next week we are going to come back very strongly. Meet Claude Mayo at 8 p.m. with news in the French language. But do not go away. More interesting programs will be yours over Campus Television. Have a blessed weekend.